Welcome back to my channel. Well, we got a new update on the case of missing brothers Orrin and Orson West out of California City, California, by the Cal City Police Chief in a new interview that was posted on kget.com on January 20th of 2021. I can't say it's too much of an update, but I found some of the answers provided by the police chief very interesting. I could be wrong, but I think the interviewer did too. I'll summarize the interview in this video, but if you want to see it for yourself without my 2 cents thrown in, I'll also link it in my description box. I'll leave my comments until the end so I don't make it confusing. The questions, of course, are coming from the interviewer, and the answers are coming from the Chief of Police. Let's get started. Okay, so what do we know so far? Answer: they've collected multiple pieces of evidence. They've interviewed multiple people and have searched multiple places. But they have no good leads. Anybody who says they saw the boys other than the adoptive parents has not panned out. Where and when was the last time someone outside of the parents saw the kids? His answer: we don't know. But nobody has said they saw them after they were reported missing. Why no update? His answer: there's no new information to share. They have hours of surveillance footage from surrounding houses, hours of body cam footage from officers, and hours of interviews that they're still going over. Have there been any analysis reports from the evidence taken from the house? Nothing big or earth-shattering at this point. Question: the adoptive parents are no longer in the house, and we don't know where they've been, and a man boarded up the house. Have you arrested anyone who vandalized the house? His answer: no. We believe the adoptive parents are no longer living at their house because we spot check it regularly and haven't seen any activity at the house. Did police pay to board up the house? His answer: no. Can Terrell and Jacqueline enter the house whenever they want? His answer: absolutely. When was the last time police went into the house? I think it's been about a week and a half, he said. Was any more evidence removed from the house? I think we took one piece of evidence. How much evidence did you remove from the house altogether? I can't say, but it's quite a few pieces. Police have searched every corner of the house for the boys? Answer: I can absolutely testify. We have searched every corner of that house. Was anything substantial found when the backyard was dug up? No. Could the children be under the floorboards of the house? He says we've searched everywhere we can search in the house, and we brought in cadaver dogs. The house is on a slab, so it would be hard to get under the slab. How many police officers in Cal City? He says 13 sworn in. 4 agencies were working on this case before. How many now? I think we're down to 2, he says. Is the FBI still involved with this case? He says they're still processing our evidence to the best of my knowledge. Bakersfield Police is still processing evidence? He says yes, they've played a big part, and Kern County Sheriff's Office has helped us, and the DA's office. Has Bakersfield Police taken over this case? We are still primary at this point, he said. But they're still supporting you because you are a small police department, she asked. Yes, but not only do I need to keep people on this case, but I also need to run my everyday operations. And then she says, yeah, exactly, as if she's making the point to him that you're small. What kind of help are you bringing in? But he doesn't seem to get it. Then she asks, have there been a lot of false leads from the public? He said what would help is if they gave us more details. He appreciates any information they get, and they still have a long list to follow up on. How many have you received? He says dispatch has a tablet that is several pages long. It gets forwarded to him every day, and if he's not doing the follow-up himself, he tries to delegate it out to one of his officers to do the follow-up. So you follow up on everything? Yes, we do, and Bakersfield does. We try to follow up on everything, he said. There have been substantial amounts donated to the reward money. Do you believe someone knows something and they're just not stepping forward? Yes, he said. Someone out there knows something. They know where these boys are, what happened to these boys. It's not possible that the boys just walked out of the house and are missing? He said, I'm not going to say it's not possible. It's not likely in my mind. So it had to be some other person involved, whether a neighbor, a family member, or something like that? That's what I think. It's been a month since the kids went missing. I know after the first 48 hours, it's less and less likely that the kids will be found alive. The first 48 hours are critical, he says, and I understand that. The longer it takes, the less chance that we'll find them. But I still have hope that we will. Is it looking like more of a recovery at this point than a search and discovery? He says, I don't want to say that. I want to remain optimistic that they're still alive. Has anyone come forward with new information that they think will win them the reward money? Yeah, dozens of people have come forward with information that hasn't panned out. He said he welcomes all help, even from private investigators, as long as they share their findings with the police. And how much longer do you think it will be until this is considered a cold case? He says, I don't want to put a time limit on that. We're still searching and working the case. We're not exhausted yet or ready to give up. But in a missing persons case, it never ends. I brought in an extra detective to work on cold cases alone, and he's making progress on them. There have been multiple human remains found in the cities surrounding California City. Can you confirm none of them belong to the boys? He says the ones that I'm aware of are not. None of ours. So many people are concerned about this case, and they have a lot of questions. He says, good. I hope people don't let it die down. Terrell and Jacqueline West used to live in Bakersfield? He said, correct. The interviewer says, currently, they are no longer in their house and the windows are boarded up. He responds, I think only the broken ones are boarded up. She corrects him, no, they're all boarded up. She asks, are Trezell and Jacqueline in Bakersfield? He says, yes, they're in Bakersfield, but I don't know exactly where they're staying. Are they staying within the realm of California City so that you can reach out to them? Yes, he says. They've been available every time we've reached out. Okay, but you don't know where they're staying exactly? He says, I don't want to share that. Have they ever been in protective custody of the police due to all the threats they're getting? No. But you can get in touch with them? He says, yes, if need be. Then she asks, are there hidden rooms in the house? He says, not that I found. They've only lived there for 3 months, so unless they built one between September and December. He said, we've checked the attic and the chimney and everywhere multiple times. She asked, will you make an arrest soon? He said, I won't comment on that. There's a rumor that you used to be an actor. Were you? He says, yes. In 2015, I did some promo videos, singing songs. It was just a hobby, but I came back to police work. People really care about this case and they want to search. Where should they be searching? He says, just keep your ears and eyes open, because somebody knows something. Then people can call the tip line or dispatch. So no specific place or body of water to search? He says start where they were last seen, at the home on Aspen Drive, and go from there. We don't want to spend our resources just searching willy-nilly. We need some direction, or a tip, or lead. And then they concluded the interview. Now, I have a lot to say about his answers, and I'm not police, so I don't know that I feel that I have the right to necessarily question how this investigation is going, but as a concerned citizen, I suppose, some of his answers just don't jive right with me. I don't understand why it is that he almost sounds like he's sticking up for the last people to have claimed to have seen these boys alive. Why is it that they don't know and don't have anybody coming forward saying that they saw the children even prior to them being reported missing? When she asks him, he says they don't know. She said, where and when was the last time someone saw them outside of the parents? He tells her, we don't know. How do you not know? Isn't that part of the investigation? To question the family? To question the grandmother? To question everyone to find out the last time these boys were actually seen from somebody outside of their adoptive parents? That doesn't make any sense to me. And then when she asks why no updates, and he's saying, well, because there's no information to share. Yeah, but it's important to keep their names out there, to keep their photos out there, to let people know that you are still actively searching, that this is still an active investigation. People need to know that the police are on top of it so they don't lose hope. So they'll keep reaching out and they'll keep sharing the information. He even says that later in the interview, that he doesn't want to give up hope either. Well, then you need to keep updating people and letting them know what's going on. Then, when she asks him about any of the evidence that they've taken from the home, if there was any analysis or anything, not that he needs to share all of the information, but he just says basically nothing big or earth shattering. I would just expect a better answer than that from him. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just really expected more from him in this interview. Maybe he didn't want to do it. I don't know. But if you watch it, the only time he really chimes up and kind of seems excited to be there is when she's asking him about whether or not he used to be an actor. The rest of it is just kind of, you know, whatever, let's get through this. He's not really putting a lot into his answers. He put in more than I shared because I'm just summarizing. But I didn't feel that he was very forthcoming with anything. But I don't feel that it's because he's protecting information to protect the integrity of the investigation. I just didn't get that. Maybe you'll get something different if you watch him. But when she asks him if they'll be making an arrest soon, I understand that he doesn't want to give everything away. But he could at least say if they're looking at a suspect, if they have a person of interest, anything. He really doesn't say much of anything. And when she's trying to get out of him whether or not he knows where Trezell and Jacqueline West are, at first he's saying, well, we don't know where they are exactly. We just know they're in Bakersfield and blah, blah, blah. And then when she kind of keeps going at it, I think he gets that she's making him look bad. So he's like, oh, well, we just don't, I don't want to share that information. It didn't strike me as he doesn't want to share it. It strikes me as he just trusts that they have nothing to do with this. So he's not even looking at them. I mean, if they can come and go from that house whenever they want, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then she really was trying to drive home about the search of the house. Did you really search everything? Could they be under floorboards? Could there be a hidden room? Could there be something that you're not looking at? And he just basically dismissed her. Like, all of her questions really were not, he's the police, she's not, so he knows what he's doing. Which I found to be a little, I think he could have been a little more forthcoming, maybe with the search in the home and the things that they found. I don't know. I really wasn't that happy with this interview. She was asking him, she asked him, how many officers do you have? He says 13. And she's saying, well, you don't have a very big department. Who else is helping you? He's like, oh, I think we're down to 2 agencies now. What do you mean you're down to 2 agencies now? What happened to the other ones that originally started helping? These boys have not yet been found. Why are more agencies not coming to help? This is really, 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 emergency now. They've been gone a very long time. It's not time for resources to start falling off. It's time for them to go into hyper serious mode and start bringing in everyone. I just covered the case of the 2 missing siblings or abducted siblings from the foster home in New York. That police chief was all over it. He had agencies everywhere helping with that case. Everywhere. He had resources coming in from everywhere. He said all of the agencies told him, anything you need, any resources you need, they're yours to find these children. They recovered those children in 48 hours. Now, I'm not saying they would have had the same result in this case with the West boys, but why is he not saying, I have access to all of these agencies, I've called them all in, I have multiple resources, I have unlimited resources to do searches, I have unlimited... He's saying that they're concerned about using their resources willy-nilly. Well, I understand you don't want to waste time just searching random places that you don't think they could be. But why are you not trying to get unlimited funds and unlimited resources so that multiple searches can be conducted at the same time? If you're saying that you want all of these people to come out and help, including private investigators, then why are these searches not being organized? Why are we not seeing tons and tons and tons of people coming out, forming search parties, and having this going on every day, day after day, day after day? These boys have been gone too long. Now, I don't mean to make it sound like he's not doing his job. I'm not a police officer. I don't know what he's supposed to be doing. But I really wanted to see more. I wanted better answers out of this interview. I wanted a little bit more, urgency and concern. I wanted to hear that once that 48 hours passed, he was bringing in more help, calling in more agencies, and bringing in more hands. She's trying to make the point to him that you are a small police department. What resources have you called in? What help do you have? And he's saying, well, you have to remember, I have to work this case and still do, my daily police activities. And she's saying, exactly. That's exactly the point I'm making. You're overextended as it is. You need help. Of course, she doesn't say that, but I'm pretty sure she was implying it. So, I don't know. I wasn't happy with this interview. I wasn't pleased with his answers. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm frustrated. But I think we all are. We've been following this case. We've been hoping and praying and waiting for answers and waiting for updates, and we're just not getting anything. And we finally get an interview that's supposed to be, an update letting us know that, hey, all these things are going on. And all we're getting is a bunch of wishing and hoping, and we're not seeing a whole lot getting done here as far as I'm concerned. She asks them if he follows up on everything, and they say, yeah, they try to follow up on everything. But they have, a notepad that tips are being written down on? And he tries to follow up on them, and when he can't, he has someone else try to do it. But they're just making lists and lists. He says it's several pages long. Then why don't you have several people working on it? Time is of the essence here, and I'm not getting that from him. And maybe it's just me, but it's been too long. And these little boys, they're counting on us to find them. And he's got total control. He says that they're still the lead on the case. So if everybody's following his lead, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you on my next video.